Good morning, students. Let's continue our unit number 4 that we have started yesterday about planning. Yesterday, we just come to know that what is the basic concept of the planning, what are its meaning, definition, features, and what is the significance, or you can say the importance of the planning. Like a coin has two sides. Very similar to that, every aspect has its two sides also. One of that, their side, it's a positive one in which you have a lot of advantages, lot of benefits, lot of importance of planning. On another dark side, that is somehow it has some limitations as well. So planning has also some limitations. Let's see what kind of limitation the planning has. It can be clear with the help of following headings. The first one is planning creates rigidity. Yes, when we plan something, what happened in that? Sometimes some plans are like that which cannot be changed, which are very much rigid. Now, what it creates? It just creates a very restricted area or very restricted scope for everybody that they have to do work according to that, because these are the plans that are drafted by the top level management or the middle level management or by their senior. That rigidity means the things that have become very much strict, that cannot be changed. And we know very well change is the law of nature. Future is unpredictable anyhow. Anytime the changes can be take place, and according to the change, we have to change our policies, plans, etc. But sometimes the plans are so rigid, it is not to be changed with the change in time. Then it is become one of the limitation of the planning. See what is given by the author. Although the quality of the flexibility is inherent in the planning, means thereby that in case of need changes, it can be brought in. But it must be admitted that only small changes are possible. The big changes neither possible nor in the interest of the organization. Moreover, it is not good for the organization that we change the complete plans, since it is not possible to introduce the desired changes according to the change of the situation. The organization loses many chances of earning the profits also. For the limited flexibility in planning, both the internal as well as external factors are responsible. These factors are internal, but it can be the external as well. What are the internal inflexibility? At the time of planning, the objective of the organization, the policies, procedure, rules, program that are to be determined. And it is very much difficult for the business to change all these procedures, policies, methods. These are known as the internal inflexibility of the business. And if I talk about the external inflexibility, these are the various means of the external factor that carry limited flexibility in the planning. These factors are beyond the control of the planning. Like nowadays, the changes made by the government, the health issues are there, the disease or epidemic has been broken out. Just because of that, the decisions has been taken. The schools has to remain closed. Nowadays, today you will see from today onward at 6 o'clock, curfew will be there. Everything will be closed down because they just want to break the chain, or they just want to spread it in the less quantity because it is spreading with a rapid speed. So all those the changes are very sort of planning a meaningless waste, and similarly a change in the policy of the competitors suddenly make the all type of planning ineffective. And moreover, sometimes this happen time, due to change in time, your planning will become fail. Due to change in the policy of your competitor, your planning will also be changed. Please don't do this nonsense. If any of the student doing, please, you are the senior one, don't do this. Stop it. The next one, planning does not work in a dynamic environment. In the, one of the feature we have done that the planning is a dynamic in nature, means it is applicable every time, everywhere. But future is uncertain, my dear. Future is uncertain, and change is the law of nature. You can't predict that what is hidden in the future. Yes, you can judge. You can predict only, but you cannot be very much for sure that this will be happen definitely. No. So this future is uncertain in a way. So how can we say, how can we look at the anticipated things that are going to be done in the future? How can we predict, or whatever we predict always be true or always be right and everything will be goes on accordingly whatever we predict and plan? No, it is not possible every time. So what happen in that case? Sometimes we just make the planning and predict the future in another way, and but future just gives us something else. What happen in that case? If the situations will be adverse or not matched to our planning become ineffective. So planning does not work in the dynamic environment. Planning is based on the anticipation of future happening. Since future is uncertain and dynamic, therefore the future anticipation are not always true. Therefore, to consider planning as the basis of success is like a leap in the dark. Generally, a longer period of planning make it less effective. Therefore, it can be seen that the planning does not work in that dynamic environment. For example, a company anticipated that the government was thinking about allowing the export of some particular product. With the hope, the same company started manufacturing the product, but the government did not allow to export that product. Now, it is a wrong anticipation that will be proved all the planning incorrect or the wrong. So planning reduce the creativity also. Yes, planning reduce the creativity. It is absolutely correct because in the planning, the specific objective, the specific way, the specific policy, procedure, methods, everything is defined to the subordinates to do that. What happened in that case? The subordinate just follow all those instructions that are given by the superior. They don't use their creativity. They don't use their thinking to do that. They just do it in that manner only, in the manner their superiors motivate them to do. So planning is a one of the factor which also reduce the creativity. Under the planning, all the activity connected with the attainment of the objective of organization are predetermined. Consequently, everybody work as they have been directed to do, and it has been made clear in the plan. Therefore, it checked their incisiveness. It means they do not think about appropriate ways of discovering the alternative. According to Tere is a scholar there, and he has just given planning strangulates the initiative of the employees, compels them to work in inflexible inflexible manner. Keep yourself unmute, everybody, please. Planning involves huge cost. Planning is a small work, but the process is really big. So it become meaningful after the traversing of a long path. So it took a lot of time and covers a long path. And during the entire period, the managers remain busy in collecting the information, and in this way, the it caused to the huge cost. Planning is time consuming process. No doubt planning is a blessing in facing the definite situation. And because it is a long process, it cannot face sudden emergencies. And sudden emergencies can be in the form of the unforeseen problems or the some opportunities of the profits. And there has been no planning for all the situation beforehand and which now require immediate decision. In such a situation, if the manager think of completing the planning process before taking some decision, it may be possible that the situation may worsen and the chance of the earning profit may slip away. Thus, the planning is time consuming and it delays the action. Because so many lengthy plan, we have to think about the future, we have to predict the future, we have to collect the historical data also. On the basis of that experience, we have to prepare the plans for the future. In this way, it's a very lengthy process, very lengthy intellectual process, in fact, and it consumes the time. Yes, planning does not guarantee success. Planning can reduce the risk. Planning can reduce the uncertainties, but planning cannot guarantee to success. Doesn't guarantee to success. Sometimes managers think that the planning solve all the problems. No. So the thinking makes them neglect their real work, and adverse effect of such attitude is to be faced by the organization. Because we know very well the future is uncertain, anything can be happen, change is law of nature. So if your planning is not as much contrast to the situations you find in the future, what happen in that case? Your planning will become ineffective. Then how can you guarantee that you become successful? If your plans become fail, if your planning become ineffective due to another changes take place or unforeseen changes take place, uncertainties take place in the future. So how can be sure for that that your planning gives you the success 100%? No. So managers should not have that kind of false sense of security and don't be careless. They have, they can say, mere the planning does not ensure the success, rather the efforts can be made for this. So after reading all these headings or explanation about the planning, we can say that planning is unnecessarily or it is only a luxury which only big organization can afford. But the reality is different. It is an important part of management and it deserves sufficient attention. It is on not a question of whether plans should be formulated or not, but how well they should be planned. The plans can be made effective after removing the hurdles of the coming in their way. So in this way, planning has two sides. On the one side, it is a positive one, which gives a lot of significance and importance. On the another dark side, it just gives a having some or restricted with some limitations. Now, planning is a lengthy process, as we have discussed. So, lot of steps are to be taken while doing planning. Please look at the flow chart first. Look at the flow chart very carefully. I'll explain this flow chart first, then I'll go for any other thing to explain the planning. Planning process. First of all, the first topic is that is to be done. It is first step is to be taken the setting objective. First objective is setting objective. What is to be done whenever any planning process is to be done? What is to be done first of all? First of all, an objective is to be settled down. An objective is to be settled down that what is the objective of the business. Then for achieving that objective, the premises has been developed. For this, premises has been developed. Means different alternatives has to be seen that which are helpful to attain the endpoints or the objectives that are to be achieved by the business. After that, a premises, a structure has to be maintained. Then premises can be the basic assumptions also that we have to be assumed that about if and but. If this will happen, that will be, that is to be done. Identifies the alternative course of action. Different type of course of action of the plan is to be maintained, and then we have to evaluate the alternate courses, and then best alternative is to be select, then plan is to be implemented, and follow up of the action is to be done. Now see here, it is given over here the planning process. Let's see the different steps are to be taken. First of all, setting objectives. Objectives are those endpoints for whose the attainment of all the activities are undertaken. In the planning process, objectives are determined and defined first of all, so that all the employees concerned can be informed about them to get their complete cooperation. Objectives are the hierarchy of their own. For example, organizational objective, departmental objective, or individual objective. They are determined and defined in the same hierarchical order. For example, a company wants to raise its sales up to 200 crore. This is the organizational objective, and the objective will be defined in the same way. Suppose the company has four major products and their expected sale is 1000 crore, 500 crore, 300 crore, and 200 crore respectively. In this context, the objective of the different department will be determined. And for example, the production department will come to know about the amount of the production of each product. In the end, the employees of the different department will be told about it and what is to be expected of them. So first of all, whatever we have to do in the planning process, we have to determine those endpoints which are to be attained by the business. After settling those endpoints, premises are to be developed. Premises are the basic assumptions, I can say. The basis of the planning of the basic assumptions or the different factor which influence the possible results. If and but will be there, cause and effect relationship will be there. Then before taking the final decision about any alternative, the forecast of these assumptions is to be made. The rate of success of planning will be direct proportionate to the rate of the success of the forecasting as well. These assumptions, these premises can be, you might be have the 1 mark question related to the premises. Many times we get the question, what are business premises? So please don't forget to mark it. Just mark in your books what are business premises. It refers to make certain assumptions about the future. It can be of two types, internal premises as well as external premises. Internal premises are the capital, labor, raw material, machinery. We have to think about these things. And in external, we have to think about government policies, business competition, trace of customer, rate of interest, rates of taxes, etc. Next is identifying the course of action. Identifying the course of action. After that, generally, when no work, no alternate model of doing it, on the basis of the objective of the organization and limitation of the planning, alternate course during a particular work can be doing a particular work can be discovered. For example, if the organization has object of expanding its business, it can be in many ways. By expanding the existing business, for example, the company engaged in the producing TV sets, it start producing TV sets of different size. By entering other production, for example, TV companies start producing refrigerator. By entering in some of the collaboration with some other organization, and by taking over some of the other business enterprises. So in this way, they can identify various course of action that can be done to achieve the determined endpoints. Now, evaluating the alternative courses. All the alternative courses are up to the expectation of the medium of the preliminary criteria are to be selected for the intensive study, and it will be seen as to what extent of a particular alternative course can help in attainment of the objective of the organization. And there is how one problem which confronts means it is to be faced by the business organization or the people who are working there us while analyzing these alternative courses. Every alternative course has its merits as well as demerits. So for example, particular alternative course can be highly profitable, but it requires the investment of the more capital also. So it has a long gestation period as well for yielding the profit. Similarly, in the another alternative needs help the capital investment. In another alternative course, we need the less capital investment that has the short gestation period. Gestation period is the period in which the yield is to be produced by the business. The profits, the yields, the profit in that is then, but the profits are insufficient. Gestation period is no doubt less, But profit are not sufficient in such situation. The planner should evolve a new alternative courses by a mixture of the different alternative course. So by analyzing all the alternatives, one of the best alternative is to be selected. After that, it is to be decided that what is the chief plan and what are the subsidiaries. Subsidiary means the small or the secondary plans to achieve that main plan. Different activities are to be decided to do a particular job, and who will do, how it will be done, by whom it is to be done, what is to be done, everything, every question is to be sorted out in planning. So in this way, planning implemented, and after that follow-up of the action is to be done. The process of the planning does not end with the implementation of plan. Plans are formulated for the future, but future is uncertain. And it is a great important that there is a constant review of the plan so as to ensure the success in uncertain future. The moment there appears to be changes in the assumption on the which the plans are based, there should be corresponding changes in the plans also. In this way, we can say the planning is continuously a moving process. So it never be ends, it just move on. It is all about the planning process. So if you have any doubt, please ask. Today we have done the limitation of planning and process of planning. Feel free to ask any query, please.